And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, twerkers, jerkers, and lurkers, witches, liches, and bitches! It's just me, Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only, back again with another Johnston Blackhorse dewz, the drawringz! So let's get back at it, shall we? Okay, we are playing around with this and looking at this again. I think I'm making it a little too busy. Like I'm just now discovering like all these like other like tones and stuff. I've seen this tab before and I've flipped through it, and my first impression when I saw these is that I thought I had to download them, and I just didn't want to bother. But here I am, just able to just like drag and drop them into whatever panel I need them in. And it's pretty cool, but I think I'm overdoing it. So I'm going to pull back some of these effects, especially in the lower left panel. So I'm going to go ahead and delete. Well, I'm going to select this layer. Oh, that's the wrong one. Is that? Huh. Oh, maybe it's this one. Oh, duh. Okay, let's delete the layers that I don't need first. Wait, am I? Delete. Oh. Guess I gotta apply these first? No. Okay. Let's see, I want to... Oh shit, I didn't let anybody know I was streaming. Let me share. Yeah. Okay. Shut the fuck up, Black Horse. I think I'll just put a simple word bubble in this panel. Like something like this. Whoa. That's too big. shit. That's right. Fucking hell. Okay, I gotta make another selection. Make this a text layer, or title it as a text layer because that's where all my text is at. Okay. I got to replace I have to replace the protective film on my tablet because it's getting a little too blurry to see through. Okay. Boop! There's my lovely love. My darling snuggle kitties. My sweet snuggle butts. Oh yeah, the stories. I forgot to put on the stories. Kick ass. This is vector. I had no fucking idea. It's a vectorized word bubble. Cool. I think that'll do it. Eventually I'm gonna have to clean up, or in future panels I'll have to straighten up my panel work, because this is really choppy stuff. And if I were to like try to like break this into like a different pages, I don't think this meets the halfway mark right here down the middle. But all that can be adjusted later if we ever get back to it. Yeah, it's a bit wonky donkey, but I think it adds like a certain type of je ne sais quoi. But in the future ones, like I'll try to like make it a little more straight. But for right now, I'm liking this. Okay. We shall save this as I'll just throw it in my random folder. Let's make me president 001. Leave some space for for it to get into the hundreds, shall we? I doubt it's going to get that far, but yeah, let's just imagine. Save. Cool. All right. Where did I? Maybe I should just put it in its own dedicated folder. Okay. A B C D E F G H I J K L. There it is. Let's make me president. Going to start up a new webcomic. Hashtag let's make me president. Hashtag Johnston Blackhorse. 2024. No, let's just put hashtag Johnston Blackhorse. That's it. Like a 2024 run would be nice, but I'm so fucking busy. But let's see how this goes, shall we? And tweet, tweedly 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 tweet 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 tweet. Ah, that looks pretty neat. I like it. All right. Next thing I'll work on. Let's see. Maybe I should jump back on I don't know, let me just do some free doodling. Get some stories going again.
While I was driving from my hometown to my college town at night. The first time I was driving from my college town and was driving my friend. He was handling GPS and he had us miss a turn so we don't go on the highway but take some creepy back roads. This is probably at 11 or 12 at night. As we're driving, I had a bad feeling, and this beat-up old sedan drives next to us. All 4 people in it have creepy-ass purge masks. And as they're next to us, they wave at us. Then I speed up and they get behind us and follow us for 30 minutes. Probably some hillbillies trying to screw with us, but still was the chance it was some satanic or serial killer thing. Really freaked me out. The next trip was also at night and I was driving a different friend back. Again, I missed some turns so we took the back roads. The weekend before I listened to some douche on Joe Rogan podcast about aliens. I think his name was Greer and he explained how you can call aliens with your mind, so the last 2 days I was standing outside trying to do that. Didn't think it worked until that drive back to my college town with my friend. I was telling him about it and then we see these blinking lights and orbs in the sky. I point them out. Probably just a helicopter. Plane, drone, whatever. I noticed that they're following us. Blinking, changing colors, turning and going really fast. We start getting freaked out. As we continue to see these things all over, we pass a farm field. Again, this is the middle of the night and the road was single lane. Pitch black, no cars around us. We see something glowing in the field. As we drive by and look at it. I tell you not, it's some kind of metal contraption like a spacecraft in the middle of the field with an orange glow around it. He screams to drive and for about 30 minutes I haul ass going 110-ish. My dad gave me his old Mercedes AMG so it can really rip without damaging the wheels or anything.
This isn't a childhood story as it just happened to me today. For context, I live in a private house with 3 floors, the first of which is separate from the 2 other floors. Be me today. Grandma recently passed away from old age. She used to live on the first floor of our house. Me and my brother are alone in the house. Parents left for a trip around 2 days ago.
Got my first like.
It's around
on my new
10:30 p.m.
webcomic,
we decide
page
to
1.
watch movie. Want to make pop?
I'm excited now to think about what page 2 will be like. I guess I should go through and actually study like each position of like the presidential cabinet, like what their role is and who should fill it and whatever. Eventually I got to pick a running mate. Who will be my vice president? Huh. Anyway.
Corn, but have no cooking oil in kitchen. Call mom, ask her if there is any left. Says check in grandma's house. Go down with brother, look in her kitchen but find nothing. Go back upstairs and start watching movie. Around 11 p.m. hear loud bang from the first floor. Go down with bro, check outside the door and see nothing. Lock door and go back on second floor to finish movie. Finish movie around 12:30 and go on third floor to sleep. Around 1 a.m. as I'm sitting in bed hear really loud bang again from first floor. Tell my brother who was sleeping. We go outside in the balcony to check but don't see anything. It's 1:43 a.m. now and I don't know WTF to do.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Remember to check out the Odyssey page in the description for a second archive of the channel's videos.
Boom! Did I get you? Huh? Predators in a woods. Oh, this isn't an X one. This is just like probably like akin to the dangerous game where fucking you go out into the woods and you run into randos, fucking crazy randos who just start hunting you. May as well give it a little listen, but I want to hear paranormal stuff.
Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Are human predators in the wild a real thing? I've heard countless stories about people in the woods being stalked by humans, them wandering around their tent at night and such. Yet I've never experienced anything like that. Have you guys ever experienced being followed by a person while out?
Twice so far. Went camping with a buddy and an ex. Weird old guy showed up with a dog. Got my buddy really drunk and had to pull my buddy away. We had this setup where the tents hooked up to the car doors. Anyway, we were all in our respective tents and the weird guy kept coming over. At first he'd announce himself, but then started unzipping the tent and poking his head in to talk to us. I told him he needed to get out after the third time.
Yeah,
They packed
fucking
our
right.
stuff up and left. Second time was about a year and a half ago right outside of Zion on the road to the park from the hurricane. The GF and I were headed back up to the road from some falls we hiked to.
That's just totally uncool. Like, when you're approaching a camp at night, it's customary and proper to, like, fucking announce yourself. Like, you announce yourself to the campfire. It's like, hello, the campfire, or something. Just to, like, just so you don't catch anyone unaware. And it's, like, mostly for, like, everyone's safety, because you don't want to, like, just pop up onto, like, a bunch of campers and just get shot, like, them mistaking you for, like, a wild animal or something. So when you approach a camp, you announce yourself to the campfire, and then you more or less ask if you can approach, and when you're given the go-ahead, then you can come in. But like fucking poking yourself or poking your head into like some other dude's tent, like, dude, get the fuck out of here, fucking weirdo, fucking lame-o weirdo.
Guy kept trying to stalk us, so we ditched him. We got to the road, which was the high ground, and when I looked down I could see him looking around for us. I got her to the truck and I stayed to watch him make his climb up the hill while making eye contact with him. There were no other cars out there and this guy looked like Jeffrey Dahmer. He got to the top and headed back towards the hurricane. Stay armed and alert, especially if you have hot chicks with you.
I live in Maine. Back when I was about 15 and my friend and I were walking to a pond about a mile in the woods. We were stalked by something. Man? Beast? No idea, but on most of the walk-in. We kept hearing twigs and branches on the ground snap about 100 feet behind us. Another story of my childhood in Maine. I lived on the edge of town, about a 5-minute walk away from my house. The street dead-ended and there was nothing left but millions of acres of the great North Woods. There was a little brook a ways in the woods from where the street dead ended. It was a popular hangout and swimming hole for the kids in my neighborhood. We practically grew up in those woods. Anyway, there was an odd guy that lived close by and we would see him walking through the woods and fishing. He never once spoke to us. He lived with his mother. One day he went home and killed his mother and a pet pig with an axe. He spent the rest of his life in an insane institution a couple of hours away.
My brother and I were hiking a section of the Appalachian Trail and kept bumping into the same creepy guy. He followed us down a side trail, back up to the Appalachian Trail, made some comments about, "We gotta stop meeting like this," and tried to ask where we were planning on setting up camp for the night. Eventually we walked down a loop trail, and when we saw he was following again, we quickened our pace until we couldn't see him, then jogged 2 miles in gear around the loop again and doubled back the direction we had come from when we got back to the Appalachian Trail to set up our camp for the night. Didn't see him again. We were both armed, but still, who needs the hassle of some creepy encounter? Perhaps we were just overreacting, but you never know.
I got a bit of a story. I'm going to green text because it's short and why not? Be my family out in the Rockies for a summer backpacking trip. So far everything is going well and we're having fun. Eventually we get to a place where my dad wants to set up camp. Eventually it gets dark, and after eating some dinner, we all head to bed. As I'm falling asleep, I hear whooping out in the woods. It sounds like the type of whooping a redneck would make as they're running around in a forest. Then there's more whooping. It's coming from all around us.
Whoop!
We're supposed to be the only ones here for miles. I'm a jumpy kid, so this freaks me out a bit. Suddenly hear a gunshot. This wakes up my dad, and he starts freaking out. More gunshots and whooping. There's a ghastly human scream for help as the people keep whooping. We freak out and start trying to hide our camp. We sit there for hours, and eventually the whooping and gunshots die off in the distance. We wake in the morning and start packing up to get out of there. Suddenly we hear a voice in a tree. This obviously startles us. We look up and see an old dude sitting in a tree with a machete. He's missing a bunch of teeth, bleeding, and has really unkempt hair, beard. My dad asks if he can help him. He just starts whooping. We book it out of there.
Oh,
So yeah,
shit.
I don't know what was going on or who those people are, but I still wonder what they were doing and what the man in the tree wanted.
First
He
ever
wanted your
overnighter, I had someone
skin,
show up to
boy.
my campsite on an ATV in the middle of the night. They got
I
off
want to
and
wear
walked
your
fairly
skin.
close to
I
my
want to
tent.
wear your
Then they
face.
proceeded to start their quad and drive off and come back every half hour. Hour till just before dawn, making sure to shine the headlights directly into my tent every time. I was already on edge from seeing a completely ripped apart tent at the campsite I had originally planned to stay at earlier in the day, so I didn't get a wink of sleep that night. No, I totally get that feeling. Back in 17, I got a super weird vibe from a guy just north of Neil Gap. I had gone down to that shelter that's like 2 miles off the trail to check it out and get some water. It was close to dusk, but nobody else was down there, and there were like 6 signs on the shelter wall about recent bear activity near the shelter. When I started back up the spur, this dude comes walking down and started asking me a bunch of questions about where I was planning on sleeping that night. I told him I was gonna head back up to the ridge and camp, and he tried to convince me to stay down at the shelter with him. I said no and left. I looked back twice as I was walking away, and he was just standing there watching me leave. Soon as I couldn't see him anymore, I ran the rest of the way up that hill back to the Appalachian Trail. Went down and camped with a couple other guys near Hogpen Gap instead of up on the ridge. In hindsight, it was most likely nothing. But man, in the moment, it sure triggered a strong reaction in me.
I got followed once after sundown, when I was with a group. The person was in the tree line about a basketball court size away parallel, but a little behind us, and kept pace for 2 to 3 miles with no flashlight and without making much sound. At least I assume it was a person, and didn't sound like a cat to any of us. At the time it wasn't that scary because I was with a group with a bunch of big dudes. At the time I thought it was just a weird local making sure we made it out of the woods, since people don't usually hike at night. Looking back, it was really weird how quiet they were able to be at the pace we were keeping with no light. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for someone to stalk 3 people so long when I'm shining my light into the trees and yelling that we have guns and being a drunk the whole way. I don't think much of it, but it did make me think twice about doing the Pacific Crest Trail alone as a solo female.
In the book People of the Lie by Scott Peck, MD, he talks about the generally pretty quick gut feeling you get when you are around a cluster B personality type. You are the product of millions of years of generations who have survived to pass on their genes. So generally, most people will have some sort of subconscious danger radar that picks up on something being wrong. Certain red flags, body language, etc. Thing and I've experienced this quite a lot with these cluster B types over the years, is like the title of the book, they're people of the lie. They are very often initially very charismatic and will lie so convincingly because they half believe their lies. So while you have very good predator radar, they, being a predator, have adapted other techniques to be a predator. And those lies and charisma are designed to put you in a sense of ease. Thing is, they can rarely keep a story straight. And they're often extremely pushy or clearly can't back up their rhetoric, which is a good red flag indicator. Had a bunch of roommates, work colleagues over the years that were BPD and PD, so I have a very honed radar for sussing them out. Come across a few people on out excursions where all my internal danger cluster B predator
What's up,
alarms started
Dasco?
blaring. Honestly believe a few of these people I've had to look into
Dasco's
their
here.
stories here.
It's time to
Run across
close up the stream. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just joking. What the hell? What is this? This has got to be from like, oh yeah, fucking years ago. Okay, I was in the wrong one. I was checking my emails and I saw this one email. It was like, it's time to receive your money. Like, from who? Subscribe Star? Shit, like that was deactivated a long time ago due to inactivity. Maybe I can start that back up again. All right, let's get back to this.
Random people who are off. They want me to stay and camp with them and are often pretty touchy-feely, and I hightail it out of there. Had a few start rushing following me, but I'm an extremely fast walker, so I can make distance fast. They just wanted to be friends.
Buzzing around my
I actually
shins.
make a lot of acquaintances out hiking or in camping sites. Most people are generally sound, but the people who are off. Cluster B, your instincts can tell. Tip: listen to your initial gut feeling. Your instincts again can quickly sense danger.
I get the point of what you're saying, but gauging an entire psychological underpinning of someone from a brief hello as you pass on the trail is tenuous at best.
Predators will rarely just say hello and keep moving. They engage and keep engaging and try lower your defenses through charisma and lies. Again, I meet quite a lot of people out hiking and camping, and most people I meet are sound. Often end up having a campfire and some drinks with random people. With predators, you can usually tell pretty quickly from the engagement something is off. Your instincts are picking up things that are slightly off about what they are saying, or how they are engaging, or even their facial expressions. When you've been around BPDs and NPDs enough, you can often pick up on the sort of calculating gaze they have. This is a pretty common aspect people on BPD loved ones and raised by narcissists comment on a lot. The BPD and PD eyes. For me, big red flags. Overly gregarious, want you to hang with them, and a bit too eager. Pushy manner, bragging, coming up with reasons why you should stay when you try to move on. The BPD eyes, they can't help but show it in their expressions, how they are calculating every move in the conversation like it's some video game dialogue branch. Really good example of the eyes is Natsumi in the reality show Terrace House. Absolutely BPD. NPD, and everyone commented how you could absolutely tell she was off through her eyes. Kick related. Either way, it's always good to be careful. Shit tons of these cluster B types out there, and they're generally always going to act predatory.
Hiking near Interlaken in Switzerland. The trail I was following had been washed out by a winter avalanche over a few kilometers. I crossed the Rubel but ended up going down too much and missed the spot where trail resumed. I was too lazy to climb back up, so decided to go down the gully and catch up the trail at the bottom. Problem was, when I reached the bottom, the gully opened on a 30-meter waterfall on the other side, with the trail passing at the bottom. I climbed over one side of the gully and found myself at the top of a steep slope that flattened out and had trees allowing me to reach the trail safely on my left. On my right, the slope ended on a ledge over a 10 to 15 meters drop. I started down cautiously, and slipped, and started gliding down. I managed to turn around and dig my knees into the ground to stop myself. I was no laying face down against the slope, knowing it I slid again, would crash against a tree if I ended up on the safe side, or would just fly over the edge and very seriously hurt myself, or die, if I went to the other side. I managed to slowly dig the ground with my knife until I found a thick root that gave me a solid handle. I then punched and kicked foot/hand holds and moved across the slope that way until I got back to safety among the trees. First and last time I did something so stupid as trying to cut short across mountain terrain. Never again. I can still feel the adrenaline. The nasty scary one, not the cool exciting one just typing this, never again.
The worst I've had are a couple close calls resulting from me being careless while driving during road trips. One of them left me crying and shaking from how close to dying I was from being an idiot. But that doesn't really count as out, I guess. I have my bear and mountain lion stories too, but the worst situation was a time I forgot my raincoat while backpacking. Forecast was all clear, but on my second day of the trip I took off for a day hike, leaving my tent in place, and just about halfway through it started raining. Snowing pretty heavily. I was soaked and freezing while hiking, but what I was dreading was the possibility that water had gotten into my tent and soaked my sleeping bag while I was out, because then I'd have been screwed. Thankfully avoided that worst case, but the first little while in the tent and sleeping bag were worse than while I was hiking. First, it was a bit of an effort to take off my shoes and clothes, as I had very little feeling in my fingers, and then since I was no longer moving I just felt colder. Was scared for a bit before I finally started to warm up. Took a couple hours to regain full feeling in my fingers and toes. Beautiful place though, great hike. It was Coyote Gulch near Escalante in Utah. The day hike was to Stevens Arch. Coyote Gulch is popular for good reason, but few people seem to make the extra trek to Stevens Arch. Definitely do so though, it's spectacular. I guess worst case I would have just hiked the 7 or 8 miles back to my car. Would have sucked though. There were other people around also if I needed help. Not a lot since it was winter and a weekday, but still a few other souls around.
Backcountry skiing, my buddy in front of me decided to change routes and went over a berm and into a gully. I was yelling for him to turn around, but he was already over, so I split second decided to follow. The gully led out to a 200 feet sheer cliff, which we were not very far from the edge of. We took the skis off and had to traverse laterally to get out of the gully. We'd sink chest deep if we tried to stand, and that's just where it got compacted enough. Otherwise, snow was easily 8 feet plus deep on probably a 30-degree slope. Had to crawl with one ski in each hand on our hands and knees so we could stay on top of the snow. There were snow clumps all the way up the gully where it was obvious a previous avalanche had ran through. So we basically had to crawl in silence for like 2 hours in 6+ feet deep snow in a gully where avalanches obviously occurred. All the snow had to do was break and we'd have been washed away in chest deep, probably submerged avalanche off a cliff.
I was hiking with a couple people on shit trails that were completely frozen over in about 8 Fahrenheit weather and miscalculated how long it would take to return and when sunset would occur. So we walked too far out. Furthermore, the one trail we took to get there left us nowhere to go in the event of a wild encounter. And given that the whole terrain was frozen, and we had used boots with no ice cleats, we weren't in the best position to defend ourselves. Mind you, we were in Pennsylvania, where officially, mountain lions are not said to inhabit
Gotcha,
anymore.
you
We
fucking
decided to
piece of...
take a longer route that had more open area around us.
Okay. The fly had landed on the end of my drawing stylus, so I ever so slowly approached it like this, and I flicked it. I flicked it against something. It was stunned, and I quickly it went under one of my stereo cords, and I just pressed the stereo cord down and fucking got it. Asshole fly been buzzing around me, just bugging me for the past few minutes. There's another one. Hold on, I'm gonna get this one too. Motherfucker coming to my house. Piece of shit. I'll show you. Oh, come on, don't, shit. I swear, man. It's even though flies are as dumb as shit, there must be some sort of instinctual signal they must pick up on. Once they'll buzz around you for minutes on end, and you can shoo them away as much as you can. But the moment that you're capable of swatting it and you have the intent to do so, it's these flies can pick up on that and they'll just fucking fuck off. But then the moment you just let your guard down, it's okay, those flies are gone, they'll just fucking come back fucking asshole flies. It's they're... There he is. There you are, you son of a bitch. Gotcha! Asshole! Okay. It all looks clear now. Ah, fuck. There's my push-up alarm. Time to bust out more of these push-ups. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. And doing them in my Popeye shirt. Look at that. Well, it's starting to fade though, so I'm going to have to get another one. Ooh. Okay. All right, let's bust out more of these push-ups. Which set are these? These are the 6 p.m. set. So I got 2 more sets of push-ups to do today. So we're almost done. After this, I got 2 more. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. That was me trying to ham bone. Ham boning. Okay. Oh, Daska has one of those salt guns. The bug assault rifle. And an electric zapper. Nice. Melody says it's the hairs on fly bodies. It detects any disturbance of air coming towards them. Not to mention their amazing eyesight. Yes. JB used belly drum. It was super effective.
And a better chance.
It was super defective.
Of encountering other hikers, though it was night. Turns out the whole section around us was blocked off to vehicles, and everyone nearby is too lazy to hike in ice and 8 Fahrenheit weather. Regardless, we were walking back and hear the snarl of a mountain lion, not a bobcat, in front of us to the left. Hurriedly, we got our knives and flashlights out and looked around. We couldn't see it anymore, but we kept hearing noises and eye reflections behind us as we progressed. Eventually, my buds got too tired and we stopped. We hear a not-so-distant yelp of a coyote and we continued on our walk back. No more eye reflections, no sounds, nothing more for the remaining 9 or so miles of the trip. To make it worse, my buds ran out of water and food, and they were becoming increasingly fatigued. I know it's nothing crazy, but it's the most dangerous situation I've had thus far, especially considering at the time I thought it was something less than it was bobcat. But upon doing some research and listening to the difference in bobcat and mountain lion yells, it was most definitely a mountain lion, which makes it a lot more dangerous of a situation than we thought it was.
When working on my master's degree, I had to sample plants out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. This is a tall grass prairie. If you've never been in untouched tall grass prairie, it's like a forest. The big blue stem gets over 8 feet high and it grows in bunches, so I think you can't push your way through it in some places. Truly a terrifying experience if you're alone and have to trek deep into a bluestem forest. More necessary context for this story is the status of mountain lions in Kansas. The Kansas wildlife officials refuse to acknowledge the presence of mountain lions in Kansas for political reasons. So mountain lions have a cryptozoological status. Everyone knows someone who's seen one in Kansas. It's obvious they're there. But the scientific and political climate keeps any data from being collected, so they don't officially live there. So one time I was out sampling plants alone, the bluestem towering over my head. I had to forcefully push forward to bushwhack through these dense stands. It had rained the night before, so it was wet and humid and generally miserable. Out of nowhere, I broke through the grass wall into a long section of flattened grass. Like something had walked through the grass, something huge, flattening down the bluegrass in its path. I mentally checked through the possibilities. There weren't many. Dog? No. What dog would be big enough to do this, and why would it be out here? Cow? Cows were never out here because it wasn't grazing land. Horse? No. A horse's body mass is too high and wouldn't make a flattened path like this. That pretty much left a mountain lion. Then I found a mud patch in the path with a print. A huge cat print, bigger than my hand. I had a flip phone. So I snapped a pic and then ran for my life. I bushwhacked through the grass in a state of panic and terror. Which is dangerous because there are other things in the grass that can get you. Got to my car safely. Flip phone pic was trash.
I also live in an area where they refuse to acknowledge the return of the mountain lion, and one literally almost killed me one night. 2 days later, pic related was photographed about a mile away and was featured in the local paper, and still they publicly doubted it was a mountain lion.
Well, beside the bear story and the mountain lion story, it was probably when I was car camping in a remote spot in the middle of the Brindabellas during a torrential rainstorm. I was set up at a small camping area, and there were a couple other people set up with tents nearby. I went for a hike up the mountain for 2 to 3 hours, and when I got down, everyone else had packed up and bugged out. Odd. Little did I know the rangers had come by and advised them the national park was going into mandatory shutdown due to extreme weather approaching. It started to rain while I had lunch. Then it rained harder. I was pretty much stuck lounging around the back of my truck. By nightfall it was freezing cold and super foggy. The rain started coming down like a fucking waterfall. I couldn't keep my tarp up, so I just released it so it wouldn't rip, and I locked myself away in the back of the truck. It sounded like Niagara Falls was pouring down on top of me. I actually started getting nervous. I'd poke my head out occasionally to inspect, and the whole area was flooding. The road was a river of mud, and the water was pouring down the mountainside and had risen about halfway up my tires. I started to think I might get flooded out completely, and also started to think I might be stranded and wouldn't be able to drive out. Alas, after about 3 hours the rain relented and the flooding receded. It was tricky getting out in the morning as the road was washed away in a lot of places, but I managed to get through all the mud and small canyons. Good times.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green ticks will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Woo, that's spicy. Gang stalking? Targeted individuals? Wait, is this like where like a group of people online decide to like fucking fuck with somebody and stalk them? What kind of assholery is this?
Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
I was told I should come here for some clarity. For anyone who is familiar, has experience or had experience with gang stalking, what are some specific things that are unique to stalkers? So far all I've read, heard are inconsistent hand signals, weird looks, and red, white, black cars.
That's mostly bull. The gang stalkers want to make you paranoid and start looking out for patterns, stimuli that they previously linked to multiple negative experiences, same as you train animals to whistle. The human brain is not that different, especially the more unconscious primitive areas that are responsible for fight or flight. Gang stalkers train their targeted individuals like Pavlovian dogs to enter fight or flight mode when they see a certain stimuli. They do this by a short period of extreme harassment linked with some stimuli. Best if it's not that common, but still somewhat common in daily life. After this period, that target is conditioned and starts seeing harassment everywhere when they hear that stimuli, even though there is no gang stalker anywhere nearby. After that, the gang stalkers just need to remind the target once in a while so the target doesn't forget the conditioning.
I live in a very rural part of Canada and have experienced actual gang stalking harassment from law enforcement. My family's small house got raided by 60+ SWAT units. They presented no search warrant, and even after we were all in cuffs they kept a gun trained on my 12-year-old sister. After that day, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have been pulling me over at least 4 times a month. they even tried to ban me from entering the nearby town. What you are experiencing, my friend, is your deteriorating mental health. I hope you at least live somewhere you can get affordable mental health care. Please get checked if for your sake fellow/x/file.
Unsure of whether my experience is gang stalking. However, for the past 3 weeks I have had various vehicles follow me everywhere I go. I have the license plate details of all the cars. I live in Sydney, Australia. Cars have taken photos of me while stuck at the traffic lights. One of the vehicles tried to ram into my rear bumper. All these vehicles have extremely dark tinted windows. There is a bald man with a beard, a blonde woman with a ponytail, a clean-shaven man with a green logo-less baseball cap, and a brown-haired woman who took a photo of me whilst at traffic lights. It's very disconcerting that these people are following. I have injured my knees and have fractures and bone marrow edema. It makes me wonder though, since it would be the first case of insurance companies stalking people day and night waiting for their cars to drive past, then trying to run them off the road. When these cars are following me, I make sure 100% that they are. I will drive into side streets, perform illegal U-turns, and they will still follow me almost bumper to bumper. It seems like it is an intimidation tactic. They want me to know they are following me and want me to be paranoid. I am hoping that my ex-partner hasn't hired some kind of hitman service. It is unlikely, as she wouldn't have the money, nor have a clue how to find hitmen, but it is making my suspicion grow more and more every day. The next time they follow me.
Okay, that reminds me. It's like, while going through prison, like I met like several inmates, and I would like tell them my story, and like people can read my story on my blog and just like go through the whole thing and just watch the whole chronicle unfold. But when I would like tell like other inmates like the bullshittery that happened to me, especially with my ex, it's like I've had people just kind of like, man, that's like fucking bullshit, man, that fucking sucks, dude, do you want me to like fucking take care of her? Like, it's like, what? So like I had like dudes on the inside like asking me if I wanted to put a green light on my ex, and like some offers was like, man, like fucking I'll do it for free. It's like, holy shit. It's like when you're in the thick of it and you're in a toxic relationship, you don't really see how toxic it is, but then when you like tell like your story to other people and just like seeing how people from the like an outside perspective treat your story, it's like, man, like she was like just some fucking toxic troll, dude. But yeah, like I've had people like offer me that. It's like, no, like I turned them down. It's like I don't want to be involved with anything like that. It's like she's a shit person, but I don't want to be the one like responsible for like fucking giving that sort of go ahead. So like I I would turn each one of them down. But goddamn, like I've had that like offer like several times, just like relaying my life story. Dasco Draws says yes, please. Oh man. But yeah, she was a fucking shit person, man. And what sucks is like the whole fact that she tried to turn my sister against me, but then my sister just kind of like turned it around on her, and then that's when she fucking calmed down with all her bullshit and agreed to just like fucking leave me the fuck alone and just stick to her own little corner of the internet. Like, yeah, just, fuck off, fucking bitch. Oh, dude, man. But yeah, you meet some interesting characters on the inside, and I wish I could remember all their names, but a lot of the times they just like went by nicknames, and it's been so long. It's like I remember their faces and their personalities and stuff. I just don't remember their names. But I hope like they're all doing well, because I met some pretty chill cats. Some pretty pretty chill dudes. Anyway, Melody dropped a link. Prince Ali country version. What is this? Oh.
Hey, clear the way in the liquor store. Hey, you, he's the dude getting off the horse. So come be the first in town to meet his eye. Make way, here he comes. Play the fiddle, bang the drums. You're gonna love this guy. Prince Country, backwoods is he, king of the Walmart. Can outthink 10 regular men, pass an addy. He knows every George Strait song.
For those who don't know, like, I'm not sure if you would know Melody, but when he says natty, that's like a slang nickname for natty or natural ice. It's like a piss beer that like it's viewed as like a piss beer that trashy people drink. So like natural ice is like natty is like the shorthand phrase for it. It's like they call it either natty or natty ice. Here, let me pull it back.
Can outdrink 10 regular men, pass a natty. He knows every George Strait song. One shot of Jack and it's on. Right now he's probably sipping mama's tea. Prince Country, redneck is he, down on a dirt road. He's got skull rings in all his favorite jeans.
Oh, jeez, right?
Give him a 12-pack of beer. He'll make them all disappear. Who's shooting all of the deer? It's Prince Country.
Man, that's pretty clever. Nice. Pissweise. Pisswasser. Oh, shoot, there's like a beer in like in Grand Theft Auto. I think it's Grand Theft Auto. It's called Pisswasser, which I believe is like German for piss water. Anyway, let's get back to the gang stalking stories.
I am going to approach them and ask them straight up what they want with me. I will be packing some self-defense in my pants in case they want to attack me. My ex-girlfriend was a staunch believer in gang stalking. CIA mind control towers, reptilians, and a whole laundry list of other equally strange things. This is how I found out about her
Yes,
beliefs.
Pisswasser.
We were at a friend's house, drinking beer, and she's coming back from the kitchen when she pulls me to the side. She had found my friend's phone he left on the counter and looked through it. My buddy is into some nasty shit, so there's lots of gore. And most importantly, apparently, was a specific fetish video with a girl that slightly resembled my girlfriend. Slightly, as if they were the same height with the same color hair. Girlfriend proceeds to accuse my butt of kidnapping and driving her, and she was intact, the girl in the video. I'm like, WTF, so we went home because that was embarrassing. Huge fight ensues. She starts rambling off all her bull. Calls me a gaslighter for pointing out the flaws in her logic. Dropped her the next day. She used the same arguments I'm reading in this thread.
I'm being stalked by the police and thinking about getting a lawyer now. Many different run-ins, but the latest was a couple days ago when I went to walk my dogs for the first time in my new place. I usually just take them into the backyard. Anyways, I let my little one run around without a leash because he followed close by when going into the backyard, so I envisioned a happy little jaunt with him by my side going uptown. This did not happen. He bolted across the road at warp speeds and flew up along the other side of the road, so I was about to turn around knowing he would follow me, but a vehicle passed and I didn't realize it at first, but of course it was a cop and had to squeal on the brakes to not run over my idiot. He turns around to come tell me to keep my dog on a leash, and he has been getting complaints about him. Like, WTF, I haven't had him here for more than a month and he always follows me outside then back in. Many more stories. I used to be able to drive months forgetting to have insurance, now it's one day and I'm getting pulled over. Don't understand this.
Same Z's. The Fed has been watching a lot of people at this mental health place I work at, because one of our old company associates we used to refer out to fraud the government out of $18 million. Our company doesn't do anything immoral to clients and we're a really small operation of like 8 to 12 people, so it was blatantly noticeable when it first started happening. It would be weird when all of us would start getting a bunch of unknown numbers calling us at once. On top of that, our parking lot only has 10 spots and is in a tiny medical plaza, so when blackout tinted cars start parking backwards facing our office, it's very obvious. Weird dudes with caps and sunglasses standing in our smoking area unprompted. One time, someone definitely went into my car and left the back seat interior lights on and left all my valuables, expensive sunglasses, my work cell phone, dash cam. It made me paranoid as all hell because I didn't know what for. It didn't click for a while that it had to do.
Melody says, Dasker says packing some self-defense in his pants. Yeah, I heard that earlier. I was going to make a comment, but then just started thinking of some other things. Melody says, so if this country Ali does that mean Jasmine is Honey Boo Boo? Probably. Or whatever the fuck her name is this week. Melody has dropped another link. Let's see what this is. Let's check it out.
I wrote a song about why beer is better than women. I'm allowed to complain about a beer being flat. If my lips touch another bottle, my old beer don't get mad. When I'm at a bar, I'm always able to pick up a Bud Light. Beer looks the same in the morning as it did on Friday night. Beer is always ready to leave on time, and that's why beer's never late. And when I want to swap beers, my old beer won't take half my estate. A world where I could just date beer would just be great.
Nice. Freaking Melody posting all the hits. Sweet.
Do with work. Thought someone was trying to stalk and kidnap me.
Gang stalking is a psyop to distract from the cyber stalking that the Gov does to everyone.
Quiet and on you actually figured it out.
God damn, I don't want to go into this again. But I will. One day the bold catch code started saying things like cesarean in my hometown and stuff. So I started typing back. Then I heard a voice in my head say, "How did we miss you?" The next morning I drove to work and everything was different. The air was stale. My coworkers weren't talking.
What? Bold catch code started saying things like cesarean? What's a bold catch code? The fuck is a bold catch code? Oh, I'm just getting like bolt catch parts for like a rifle or something. Search only for what is bold catch code. I'm not getting anything. I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. One day the bold catch codes started saying things like cesarean and my hometown and stuff. Bold catch codes. No, nothing. Yeah. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Oh, I thought this might have like explained like what the hell this. Like, way to go, dude! You fucking asshole! Like, why won't you fucking like explain what a bold catch code is? I don't know. I don't know what that is. One day the bold catch code started saying things like cesarean in my hometown and stuff, so I started typing back. Typing back in what? Like, what is this bold catch code fucking thing? You dipshit anonymous douchebag fuck? Just throwing terms out there that like not everybody knows. Maybe it's just something that exists in your stupid goddamn head. Anyway, let's hear this song.
She got
What's
a
up,
body
Robin?
on
'Cause
her man,
Marsick?
she cleans up nice. If I can get her hot, she'll go all night. She's had a little work done there in the back. The front's all natural, I like it like that. Man, you ought to see her when she gets fueled up. She left a lot of men standing there in the dust. She'll give me that quick with a little bit of love. What? I love my truck. She's a 98 made in the USA. I like running my hands up and down her frame. She don't mind getting lost down an old back road. Man, I love hearing that engine moan. Man, you ought to see her when she gets fueled up. She left a lot of men standing there in the dust. She'll give me that quick with a little bit of love. What? I love my truck. And get a little dirty in the mud. She likes it a little rough, man, she was built tough. She got a little diesel in her blood. Man, you ought to see her when she gets fueled up. She left a lot of men standing there in the dust. She'll give me that quick with a little bit of love. Man, you ought to see her when we get stuck. When it's rolled down and her height cranked up. She'll give me that quick with a little bit of love. What? I love my truck. Wait, what? You thought I was talking about what?
Nice. Sweet. That was a good video too. Like, this whole time you think he's like singing about this hot chick that's in the video, but then he shoves her out of the way to like get to the truck that she's like dancing in front of. Sweet. Totally fucking sweet. What was what? Oh, that song? Melody's been like sending me like these kind of like spoofing like redneck songs. Redneck song spoofs. The song? It's linked right there in the thing. Let me... Oh, what's the title of the song? It's from Thomas Mack, titled "I Love My Truck." Melody says it's fire. I was doing like a doodle of just like a figure, but it's turning into like a Harley Quinn doodle. Why she's got bare feet, I have no idea, but I'm keeping them. Oh yeah, I was listening to stories.
I grabbed my stuff and hit the road. On the radio, the host started covertly talking to me. He was commenting on things I was doing as I drove and thought. Mind reading. He also said, "We know everything about the brain, and this is where this happens," and I felt a tingling on the back of my head. The station kept saying songs about a woman coming, very eerie. Like, "I know tonight she comes by the cars." When I got to my destination, there were guys there who started talking to me. They said they were from Miami. The first few gangstalkers I met. Well, I freaked out and called my dad because after all this harassment, I was scared shirtless. Later, I realized they were using my brain and nervous system to make me feel afraid. I wasn't really afraid. When I was driving back, I started having memory problems. I actually drove my work vehicle home and got out of it before I realized I was in the wrong place. This continued afterwards and still happens to this day. When I got back to work, no one was there and I dropped the car off. When I left, I started noticing a lot of people around who were staring at me. Like I said, strange for where I was. I started freaking out because my Kindle and apps on my phone were suggesting things related to what was happening to me. I took pictures of my whole apartment in case I was being set up for murder or something and left. I was driving around thinking about what to do, and my first stop was the hospital. I complained of chest pains and they put me in a room. I could overhear the workers talking about some soldier who got beat to death. Then they drew my blood and the lady there said thanks for the donation and walked off. After they released me, I went to the airport. There were tons of people who were mimicking my movements and seemingly talking to each other subliminally. So I went up to the counter, and the airline I usually took was charging $3,000 a ticket somehow. And the only one with a normal price was American Airlines. On the plane, the lady sitting next to me was reading Devil in the White City, which my Kindle kept recommending to me to scare me. They thought I was...
Yeah, scared shirtless. But, okay, this person's story, like, this person is like a fucking loon. At first, they don't clarify what a fucking, was it, bold, catch code is. Like, what are you referring to with like a bold catch code? Is that like just your special term for something? It would be nice to like fucking get some clarity on that. You fucking loon.
possessed by the devil or something, which I could have been. Okay, basically I was slang stalked for 2 or 3 years and then it stopped. But now I hear voices, and my imagination and inner voice have been taken. I've seen things you'd never believe. So I won't type anymore because I have wasted a lot of time typing out my story to deaf ears. Just know that gang stalking is real, and I believe the devil is at the top of it.
No, like, you're a fucking...
There seems to be a lot of confusion here on what gang stalking is.
You're fucking
First
nuts.
off, it has
You're
nothing to
fucking
do
wacko.
with the paranormal or the CIA or the FBI or DHS, etc. Very rarely will these agencies be in your face or actually stalking someone. These agencies can stalk anyone from space. They wouldn't even want you to know they are watching you. They could literally kill any of us at any minute, yet they don't. Here's the spiel. Gang stalkers are debt agencies either trying to intimidate you into giving money back owed from somewhere down the family line. In old times, debtors used to go to prison. Now these bankers use thug tactics and shove their degenerate kin into the debt collection businesses. These days you can't go to jail for debt, so these debt collection companies can use mob tactics to try to gain restitution, all on the legal. So if you think you're being gang stalked, just know it's some low-life mobster who really has nothing better to do, because a smart daddy banker keeps the cash flowing.
I've always been a very persuasive person. I'm great at delivering comedy or strong and infectious points with just my spoken words. I've always been very well aware of how effective of an orator I am. Back in 2016, I was starting my career as a YouTuber and was quickly gaining subscribers. I had plans to delve deeper into music and acting, and from day one my goal was to gain a platform and bring unity to humans against our common enemy of the uber wealthy and this flawed system that many of us suffer within. The inequalities that we face every day were sickening to me, and I thought if I could use my skill of speaking to bring people together and spread my message of love and unity against our oppressors, we could shift our reality to a more just one. About a year into my YouTube career, I rapidly fell into a deep depression.
This is a noteworthy goal, but fucking love and unity? What are you? Peace, love, and flower power? I gotta stop being so cynical. No! Never!
About my appearance, even though I and many others consider me to be very attractive. I started to doubt myself, and then several months later I randomly fell ill and became very sick. I randomly lost my voice for a week, and then my voice would disappear mid-sentence another week afterward. Doctors didn't know what the problem.
This sort of sounds like this person is like somewhat on the cusp of like delusions of grandeur. Like they're talking themselves up quite a bit, and then, oh, how unfortunate, like bad things started happening to you and such, and I don't know, like, or you sound a little off kilter to me.
Problem was, or what was going on. Eventually, as time went by, I healed up, but my voice didn't.
Better than bullets and blondes? Better than bullets and blondes. Yes. I am against bullets. I'd rather like tear someone apart with my bare hands. But first, I gotta acquire bare hands. Where can I find a bear? Amazon. Bare hands. Fucking hells yeah, man. Now I can rip somebody asunder for the low price of $16.99. Fucking sweet. No, JB, bullets to incapacitate, not to kill. I don't need bullets. I don't need guns. These are the only guns I need. These guns and those bare hands that I showed. That'll show them. That'll show them all. Okay. Oh shit, no! Okay. Get back to this drawing.
I could no longer project my voice. I couldn't modify
no longer
the pitch
project
of my voice
my
either.
voice.
My most important tool. My spoken word, became a fraction of its effectiveness. In turn, I lost all of my confidence. I stopped doing YouTube. My potential platform melted away. My goals of bringing people together also disappeared. After 2 years, I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. They put a long, thin camera up my nose and into my throat and checked my vocal cords. That's when I found out my left vocal cord had become paralyzed. It's a very rare condition. There was no answer as to why it happened. It feels like the powers that be forcefully stopped me from speaking out further against their agenda.
Guys,
Yeah.
I think
Oh, fuck. Fuck you. Yeah, but like, what was your fucking YouTube channel? Like, you purport to be this, like, up-and-coming YouTube influencer when you were first starting out. But yet, you don't fucking have any proof of that? Anywhere? No? I don't see any. Back up a little more. Pa. Pshaw. I call bullshit on your story then.
it might have something to do with Scientology. I think we are being measured and stress tested. If you believe you are being followed, you just might be. I bring this info after a very surreal experience. I am unsure if they are malicious or not, and I think they feel the same. If one of you Scientologists is reading this, feel free to contact me again. It is hard to explain. I was walking and was offered a ride from a stranger. A compulsion came over me. I was supposed to get in the car. Then as we were driving, I had a compulsion to talk about occultism. It was then the woman who was driving mentioned Scientology. I am going to leave out details from here as I have the compulsion to, and I do want to contact them again. I had another compulsion though that concerned me. I shouldn't share my knowledge, at least with her. This I know was the seal that was taught by the master. She had a disruptive presence that I have felt from dark magic practitioners. I hate answering like this, as many people on this site are worthy of the knowledge, but with them watching I must be more cautious in what I share. This may be the last time I share knowledge on this site, so I would like to share some final wisdom. Invoke the numbers. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. You know the rest.
Yep, it's real. I'm a target individual.
Ears of understanding. Is that like thorax of making sandwiches? Eyes of surveillance? Or was it wings of surveillance? I don't know. Who are you talking about? Well, like these stories that I'm listening to, it's like sometimes like when I listen to spooky stories or like paranormal stuff or like conspiracy theories or conspiracy theories or stories or like let's see, like first-hand accounts and stuff like that, there are certain tropes that I really dislike, which just makes me just want to call bullshit on a lot of these stories. Like some of them like are creepy, I'll give them that. It's pretty interesting, but then there's others that follow these weird, these annoying tropes that just like bug me to no end. Like say for a paranormal story, for instance, if it gives like a map or like the name of a location where these supposed events took place, then I'll like, hey, like I'll consider as like, oh yeah, that story might actually be legit or whatever. But like an author who is willing to like give the location of where his experience took place, it kind of lends like a little validity to the story, even though it may or may not be real. It just adds like a sense of realism. But the stories that like say that like, oh, I'm leaving out the name and location of where these events took place because I don't want anyone else to go there, you know, like for their safety. I'm concerned for other people who might go there and like befall like these strange, eerie, or paranormal events that happen to me. And that bugs me to no end. Like, and it just like makes me want to call like fucking bullshit, man. Like, you want to spin this whole yarn about this whole incident that took place, or like that happened to you, and you won't even like let us know where it took place. It just kind of like rings of like all sense of like, oh, this story is just like fucking made up, and you didn't want to like give like any sort of location for fear of like people poking holes in your story. Like, fucking get your trope ass storytelling the fuck out of here. But yeah, like people who like relay like certain like events and allude to details that they won't disclose, like saying that I'm doing this for everyone else's safety. It's just like fucking annoying. and just dumb. Anyway, that's that's pretty much who I'm talking about when I'm like listening to some of these stories. Wait, are these stories coming through in the friggin' audio?
Happened after a music
Yes, they
festival,
are.
and everything changed after that. That night I slept outside in bushes and people with flashlights were looking for me. They didn't find me, and the whole time I laid there I was praying to God. After that, the whole entire week I felt like people were watching and stalking me. It only gets worse. I'm pretty sure the people who lived above me in my apartment were in on it. I don't know if it was the medication I took or the drugs or what, but I ended up getting really sick, and it felt like there were bugs crawling everywhere in my body. The disease is called Morgellons, and there's a community on Reddit for it. I'm pretty sure they gave me dewz. They started messing with my brain, and I started hearing things that I wasn't supposed to hear. They would put words like madness into my head and say things like, take your own life or this cancer is gonna kill him. This ruined my life. I don't care anymore. Screw you, satanic ass worthless trash. You tried.
This guy is just fucking nuts. Like he goes out and like gets hopped up on like fucking drugs and shit, and then he starts blaming everybody for like the fucking voices he's hearing in his head, as if it's like a legit conspiracy that's happening to him. Like, no, dude, fucking get off the freaking wiry ass drugs that you're on. I'm pretty sure they gave me nanos. Like what? Like fucking nanomachines? Oh my god. Yeah, he says right here, I don't know if it was the medication I took or the drugs or what, but yeah, it's the fucking drugs. You fucking crazy ass.
To take away my energy and destroy me and ruin my body, but I stopped it. Screw you and your mother that gave birth to you for trying to experiment on me. I was just a kid, you soulless creatures. I pray to God one day I find you so I can get revenge.
A message to the perpetrators of the
Fucking
targeted
whack job.
individual program and a declaration of war. 1. In subjecting targeted individuals to
Okay, oh, tree fell in your house? It's on video? Oh, fuck. Damn. Daska says, watching and stalking me, seeing and hearing me. Yeah, like fucking that guy was... The guy who authored that story, that last one, is like fucking nuts. Robin says, weed and mushrooms and you. Yeah, like, I'm all for like natural substances, but when people talk about I'm not saying this guy abused medicine, but when he's like blaming, like when he's saying like maybe it was the medicine I took or the drugs, is like you're taking medication and drugs together. Like he's probably like, yeah, well, in that sense, then yeah, he is abusing medicine. Like if you're medicated and you're also taking drugs in tandem, like what the fuck are you thinking, fucking idiot? But like natural substances, like I'm all for, you know. That's cool. But like fucking drugs and like these freaking pharmaceutical medicines that do more harm than good. Like sure they relieve you of your symptoms, but then on the back end it's like still doing damage to your system. Fuck.
this experiment. targeted individuals were treated as people with no rights. The perpetrators apparently don't believe in human rights. The perpetrators have forfeited their human rights and those of their families. 2. We're the victims. You started this. We define the crime and we decide what justice looks like. 3. Since you have systematically invaded, poisoned, and terrorized every aspect of our lives, every aspect of your lives is on the table, people, places, and things along with the perps themselves. All perps' assets and family members will be seized. 4. Given the nature and severity of their crimes, the perps must be killed. Chemical weapons have been deployed against targeted individuals. Directed energy weapons have been deployed against targeted individuals. Human rights violations, atrocities, war crimes, and terrorism have been committed against targeted individuals. This is a declaration of war against the aggressors. 5. The punishment in the USA for treason against the country is death. Taking part in a conspiracy to target another person in the manner at hand shall be viewed as treason against humanity. To set an example going forward, the perps' families must also be killed. 6. Not only does the above apply to and delineate the punishment to be meted out to the perpetrators of the targeted individual program, it also applies to and delineates the punishment to be meted out to any persons found to be complicit in the crimes of the targeted individual program. This shall henceforth be known as the rationale. It is law. There are no exceptions. There is no debate. Forgiveness does not exist.
Gang stalkers are hired as surveillance role players on many job websites. Just reading some of the qualifications needed are, must be able to walk 15 miles a day, and tolerate being outdoors in all weather conditions.
Gang stalking is mostly the product of crime lords proving the loyalty of their underlings by tasking their underlings to do something ridiculously beneath their dignity. Savvy underlings, accepting that this humiliating subservience is the price they pay for living a free life of non-compliance, farm it out to their underlings in turn. Eventually it either lands on grunts who have no dignity because they haven't made it in the hierarchy, or it lands on very powerful and independent people who think it's funny and just have no dignity to stop them from performing the task, or else at the thug level it gets farmed out still further to homeless people and blackmail victims who are under no real illusion about it being an act of petty submission. It's basically a symptom of criminals having no dignity, no autonomy, and heaping helpings of delusional rage at anyone who points that out. Organized crime does use gang stalking techniques, but it's mostly intimidation to get you pay protection money or you've seen something you shouldn't have or petty personal reasons. Gang stalking isn't exclusively done by one group of people but a set of techniques used by various groups for various reasons, getting the target on a tangent and making the target believe wrong things about the nature of their targeting is part of it. I do believe the vast majority of gang stalking cases are actually not done by the government, but making the target believe it's the CIA or whatever seems to be a running theme. Heck, they had me believe for a while they were government spooks, but thinking about it there literally was no reason to believe so besides the information they were giving me, through direct speech and so on, and why would you believe any piece of information your gang stalkers give you? Everything they say and do is designed to make you unstable and look crazy to the general public.
The beginning of this year I experienced gang stalking for some reason, and that piqued my interest in the topic, although it definitely stopped after about a month or so. Couldn't decipher whether I was simply experiencing mild psychosis or synchronicities at first. Coworkers, strangers, and even family and friends repeating key phrases from private conversations I had been having right to my face. About very private things I keep to myself, fetishes, spiritual experiences, and emotional topics, especially at an airport job I got during that time, where I even experienced on numerous occasions my car.
Robin Kosmosik says, Johnston, I use weed, mushrooms, and aspirin. Also, the sauces in town are pretty terrible, so I also take Pepto-Bismol. I judge nobody for what they choose to ingest, even alcoholics. The dude does sound a little paranoid, though. You never know. Yeah, like friggin'... Like, this guy needs to change whatever he's taking into his system. Like, he's taking medicine and drugs all at the same time. Like, he's got to do, like, maybe a full detox cleanse and switch to some natural substances. Because it's... The stuff he's on now just isn't doing him any fucking good. But, like, some of these people just sound like they're fucking paranoid, and it's like the topic is called gang stalking. And I guess like it must be some sort of like phenomena that I guess paranoid people seem to experience. Like they get the sense that they're being stalked by multiple individuals, sort of like as a unit, and they're being stalked or harassed for some other one reason or another. But I think for the most part, a lot of these retellings of various stories concerning gang stalking just comes from very paranoid individuals. Like, I've never heard of this phenomena before, but it does sound like a case of like paranoia mixed with happenstantial synchronicities, like weird coincidences that people experience that like feed into the paranoia of them being followed or stalked by like some sort of shadowy organization or the government. But yeah, like it just sounds like a lot of like paranoid people coming up with an idea to like explain what they're going through or what they're feeling, and them making a board or subject about it and just feeding into each other's paranoia by creating this echo chamber of like firsthand accounts of like what these people are experiencing during these paranoid imaginings or delusions. Because I doubt like people are actually like getting together as a unit to like stalk like any set or any individual out there. It just sounds too far-fetched to me. It just sounds like a lot of paranoid people coming together to like come up with like a tangible theory to justify what they're feeling. And getting stuck in this echo chamber for any one of these individuals is like a pretty dangerous thing, because it just further feeds into their paranoia and their delusion. Poor saps. Poor, unlucky, mentally unstable, unhealthy saps. Weird. Sweat Lodge, little toad venom will solve that problem. Oh, toad venom, like what, will that detox you? Is that like a heavy detox? Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with these stories.
Going missing from its original spot in the garage to a different spot completely. And the same kind of ominous conversations happened with the security guy who patrols the garage. He would drive me around until we found my car, when he'd find me lost walking around the garage. Weird things started happening around me. Like, for example, the TV at my airport job got hacked and someone put on Dragon Ball Z for some reason during what was supposed to be a football game. Although I find this hilarious. Around the same time, I ended up behind a guy on the train who put on like same episode of Dragon.
My TV got hacked. No, I think that's just someone with a smartphone just like screen sharing what the fuck they're watching. Oh my god, it's a hacker. No.
Ball on his phone within my view just a few days after.
Oh, what's up, Hirsch? He says, why does that drawing look like me, only skinnier? What? It might have your hairstyle, but I think that's about it. Unless you have like a permanent scowl. You might have that. You sort of do have a permanent scowl. Kind of like me. You've got that, like, we have that resting, I'm gonna fucking kill you face if you fucking talk to me. Oh. That's my push-up alarm. And that is for my 7 p.m. push-ups. After this is going to be my 8 p.m. push-ups, and those are going to be like my last push-ups of the day. Ugh. I wonder if there's any noticeable difference since I've been doing these push-ups on the daily. Well, weekdays. Doing push-ups every hour on the hour. Let me stretch my hammies first. Oh, I've been sitting down all day. Toward the end of the day, my sitting muscle really starts to hurt. So periodically, when I get up to do these push-ups, I just stretch out my hamstrings and my hindquarters. Because at the end of the day, after sitting down for so long, just drawing away at my desk, my ass will fucking hurt. Okay, push-ups. Let's go! One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah! Okay. There we go. I've been doing like 18 push-ups every hour on the hour. I think I missed a set today. Started kind of late. But today I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm due to do that was my 9th set of push-ups. 18 push-ups. And come 8 o'clock, that'll be 10 sets of 18. Which will make it 180 push-ups. So throughout the day in total, I'll have done, it's like I'm doing 180 push-ups every day. But I'm feeling a lot better since doing this, because like before I started jumping back into these push-ups, I was just fucking feeling gross and rotten. I was lethargic, unmotivated, and just getting like this overall sickly feeling, like I don't know, like this sluggish feeling like in my body, and like like a weight on my chest. But ever since starting these push-ups again, I don't feel as rotten as I was before. Are you gonna DM some D&D games on Discord? Oh, fuck. I like me some, like, I haven't done role playing in a long time. It's like I've done some Dungeons and Dragons like way back in the day. But that was so fucking long ago, and like what I'm concerned with is that it's like so expansive, and though it's fun, it's like time consuming. And I don't have much time to like just allow myself to like fucking like play RPGs anymore. And like with video game RPGs, like I've only played like a small handful of them. The one that really comes to mind is Parasite Eve. But other than that, like I just don't feel like I have enough time to like really get into like an RPG. It's like the whole Final Fantasy series like always mystified me, but I know if I ever picked up that game, I would never complete it. 2-hour game one time a week. Man. It's tempting. Let me trying to think what day would be the best day. Yes, I've seen Vox Machina. I've seen a few episodes of that. Trying to think what day would be best for me to do that. You think maybe we could shoot for Sunday? Because I've got plans all throughout this week to like do commission work on my own personal projects. I also have an appointment to take my mom to on Thursday. And for the most part, the weekend is me and Melody time. Shoot, maybe on Monday. Maybe next Monday. Cause like Sunday afternoon, I got to do like food prep and stuff. So I think Mondays, like starting next Monday, we can try it. Next Monday, like about the same time, like right now, like 7. It's 7 for me right now. But I'd be down to give it a shot. Sweet. 7 to 9 Mondays. What's wrong, love? Is something the matter, mine darling Luff Fluff? You never DM'd a session before? I guess Melody's not a fan of D&D role playing. Oh, you've never done it on Discord. It's been a long while for me. Like the last D&D session I had was like way back in high school. But I'm not promising to make it a regular thing cuz I'm booked pretty tight as it is. But I'll give it a shot. So next Monday 7 to 9. Oh, my Discord info is in the description section. At least I believe it is. Yeah, it's in the description section. Shoot, if I knew this was going to be Harley Quinn to begin with, like maybe I would have like put a weapon in her hand, like maybe her holding a bat or like her cartoony mallet. Shit, maybe I will do that. Robin L. Pulpo? Is that all one word? I think they're all one word names, aren't they? In Discord? Let's try that. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, I've been streaming for about 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and like just take a break. Maybe get down to some video games with my darling Luff Fluff Melody. We're playing Mad Max and Twitch. So if anyone out there wants to follow along, this link is in the description section below. Be sure to follow, and I'll probably catch you on there when I catch you on there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, take a break, and I might come back to doodling, or I might just jump back into gaming, but we'll see. For right now, I just need to take a break, maybe drink some water, chill out for a bit, hang out with Melody, and fucking get ready for tomorrow. Yeah. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Thanks to those who participated in chat. It's always awesome interacting with all of you. As always, my lovely moderator Melody. Dasco Draws was here. Robin Kesmarsik is here. My cousin Herschel dropped in for a bit. Awesome. So to all those who are watching later, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you would be so kind to donate, that would be awesome. Or you can just share my link around. That'd be fucking kick-ass too. So until next time, this has been Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only, and I shall check y'all later. Sweet. Bye.